Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei Day 2 over here from our secondary stream. I know that was a very long break, but feeling a little bit out of it. Perhaps you guys are feeling out of it as well. But the PvP series between Rain and Harstem has finally come to an end. Rain was able to win it, but it was a lot closer than I think most people expected. 2-1, and Harstem had a massive lead in Game 3.
Yeah, it was a really close series. I think it goes without saying. A lot of us were pulling for Harstem. I was pulling for Harstem, but
you know you have handprints on your face, right? Because someone has been sitting like this for a while. Anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and hop into the first game of the last series of the day. For us, of course, the winner of this series will go on to play against the loser of Classic versus Rain. Anyways, for now, Spirits of the Universe combine for the only non-Korean still alive in this tournament. Am I correct? I think I'm correct.
I've heard Dutch Protosses are okay.
But he's also the only non-Korean left, right? Because Sen has been eliminated.
Yes.
And the rest is Korean. It is Fanatics Harstem.
Harstem. Hype.
Goede kaas, jongen. That's Dutch for saying solid cheese. Or good cheese.
He's not
good cheese, boy. Good cheese, boy. Over here on the left bottom side of the map, on the Overgrove, we have the one and only Way Spider. Check. Checkmate. Check. Check is going to check to make sure that he's not being cannonized in the early stage of this game. Well,
yeah.
If he would have been, that would have been bad. Actually, he scouted with a drone.
Sometimes, Kev, it's important to double check.
Sometimes, especially if your name is Check, you will forget the most obvious thing, and that is to check. Why are we having fun with a nickname that's been around for 6 years?
I don't know.
Or maybe it's just not funny to anyone other than us, because we've been waiting to cast some StarCraft for like 2 hours. But we are ready, guys. It should be a really good series. Of course, it's a really important series as well. The loser can go home, or, you know, much more likely, just enjoy your time in Taipei, because I believe it is an amazing place to be at. The winner of this series, like I said, will go up against Classic or Rain. Not a pretty foresight, but man, Harstem came so close to winning that previous series, but I hate to say it, I highly doubt he can put himself in a position like that again. Because in both Game 1 and Game 3, he was ahead. Rain made sick comebacks, and Game 2, well, Game 2 was a good old Dutch cheese fest. And we are good at our cheese festivals, Nate.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't you know that the Dutch are known for cheese?
No, I've never heard that in my entire life.
You're kidding now, right?
In America, it's all about Swiss cheese jokes.
No, Dutch cheese is so much better. Sorry, any Swiss viewer out there. I highly doubt that there are a whole lot of Swiss people watching right now. But if there are, sorry. Swiss cheese.
It's late enough. I think the Swiss people are waking up now.
Swiss
It's
people.
like 8 or 9 a.m.
You know, they're rich. They don't work. They wake up at noon. They live the good life in Switzerland.
Well met.
No, in all jokes aside, you know this cheese that you guys call like Gouda, right? Which is actually pronounced Gouda. It's Dutch, and I feel.
Oh,
like
really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
You probably never knew that you had to pronounce it as Gouda either, did you?
No. I'm still gonna call it Gouda cheese. Sorry.
No, stop! I get so mad every single time someone is like, "Would you like Gouda?" I was like, "No, but I'd like some Gouda," and then they look at me like I'm stupid, and I'm like, "No, you are stupid." Then again, they can look at me like I'm stupid for pretty much every single word I mispronounce, so perhaps I shouldn't be so quick to judge, Nate.
Hey, he's doing the Harstem special.
2 in the front, 1 in the back?
Yeah.
That is correct. Gateway is going up in the main base, 2 gates going up in the front, but this is actually not a very good opening against a Zerg player that's playing with gas. He has scouted gas. I mean, I am definitely not in a position to doubt Harstem's knowledge of PvZ. I'm sure that he's a lot better in this matchup than I am. This Zergling is going to fight. Oh my god, this looks so bad for Harstem in my opinion. I think from this point on, Czech is going to make nothing but speed links, and then Harstem is stuck on 4 gateway tech with no gases in the natural, no second gas in the main. Oh my god, Knight. Oh my goodness, oh my damn.
Hashtag dicey, Kev.
Yeah, no, I have seen a variation of this before, and some pros players actually make this work a lot better than I do, so I'm going to reserve myself from making any judgment calls so far. I still think it looks kind of bad, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Harstem knows something I don't know, Nate. It all comes down to execution. If he just walks forward, yes, he's in trouble. If he's able to warp in a lot of zealots while getting probes behind this, but look at Czech. Czech already kind of figured out what's going on. He's like, man, there's no Okay, no units over here.
Sentry back home to defend. Nice. He can always force a let off if he tries to break the position.
Yeah, okay, so this is not too bad because he has a mothership core. He's in an annoying position.
Can he do anything about the third?
No.
Okay.
No, he don't want no third. A third is a thing that's not getting any love from Protoss, hanging on the passenger side of his worst race ride.
Trying to deny it from me.
Me. No, he's not going to be able to do anything about that. But what he is doing is slowing down the Zerg economy. He forced out a lot of Zerglings. Above all, you know, he's chrono boosting out probes at home. He did take the extra gases now. I'm very happy he didn't commit too much to this, because if he would have just kept wiping in units, not build any probes at home, not get gases, yes, then he would have been in a very #dicey position. Now it's just kind of like an in-between. Have to be careful with the mothership core, of course.
He's starting to forge, so he's just going to get +1 and go again, or?
No, I don't know what the follow-up is going to be. You can take this so many ways.
There's so many roaches coming out.
Yeah, well, he's forcing this. All of it. Man, this actually has been so successful. So Harstem does know something I don't know. This is just a very clever way of making it so hard for the Zerg player to figure out what is actually happening and how serious this commitment is. These roaches should save this base, but the economy is definitely slowed down. Actually, I still don't like Harstem's position, Nate, even though he's up in workers now. He's up 8 workers. That is pretty massive, I'm not gonna lie. But he has no tech at home. That is the big downside of this build so far. Interesting, really interesting game here. Interesting style by Harstem, a style that I don't think is very hard to execute. But if you get the thought process behind it, it might actually be very powerful in this matchup.
Yeah. Oh, he's moving west, which
he wants to run into the main. If he runs into the main, this is curtains.
Yeah, actually all the roaches and lings are at that pylon.
Oh my god. Oh my god, check. All of your units are out of position.
This looks like a healthy serving of Gouda cheese.
Gouda, Nate, Gouda. Oh, this is so good for Harstem. He's going to kill the main. He is literally going to kill every single...
Is this real life right now?
This is real life. He just wanted into the main. Okay, that's smart, but check. He's going to counterattack. That's definitely the better of the two choices, because he would never actually be able. But if I was Harstem, hold position, kill as many drones as you can, kill that layer, kill the spawning pool, kill the roach one, and just go home. You can definitely defend at home for a while. Yes, cannons as well. Force fields. Yes, force fields for days, right? Force field, Harstem! Harstem, your sentry! You have to force field! It's still bad, because these roaches are going to kill sentries again a little bit
He's
quicker.
going to get the pylon on the right side. The cannon's finished, but it's too late.
Still good for Harstem. No, Harstem is good. No, it's fine. Harstem's going to recall. Nope, the spawning pool. He didn't kill the... Oh, and he didn't kill the roach one either. He has to save his probes at home, though, so I do understand that it was time to recall home. Check at least save something at home. He didn't save everything. But now I feel that Harstem can just counterattack with Immortals. Oh, Check was already rebuilding the roach one.
What a weird game.
Take a look at the economy right now. 46 probes against 42 drones. Harstem is going up to 3 bases, by the way. He has a Nexus, mate. I didn't even know he had a bloody Nexus.
Where did that come from?
You know, in Warcraft 3 you had this item called Town Hall something in your pocket.
You could just create one randomly.
Yeah, you buy an item and then a main building would pop in like 5 seconds.
That actually sounds broken.
Well, it was a tier 3. You had to be tier 3 to be able to buy it. That's a little broken, but no one actually complained about it. There were far worse things in the game than a mini Town Hall.
I mean, it still sounds kind of cool.
Man, Harstem put himself in a really good position with that crazy move where he just saved up all these units, was able to macro up at home a little bit. He still needed something extra, and Check lost vision of that army, and before he knew it, the entire army just ran up in his main. The counterattack was very smart though, otherwise he would have also lost... Well, he did lose the spawning pool, bled to that. Yeah, actually all these, this roach one is probably going to bleed out as well.
He had a zealot there, I think that like finished it off.
I don't think it was the zealot. I think it's just the fact there's no creep.
Yeah, that too. This roach warren is actually kind of well.
But he has another roach warren.
Yeah, he built an auxiliary warren.
What?
An auxiliary warren.
I've never heard that before. Are you making words up this time of the night, Nate?
No. I am really tired though.
Yeah, I know. Well,
immortals at the pop. How many immortals does he have? Wait, I have an observing PC. Oh, he's got a lot of immortals.
Yeah, man, he has 3 immortals. Harstem is in a phenomenal position. He has 67 probes, 3 immortals, plus 2. Just starts playing now, gets a few extra gateways. This is definitely Harstem's game. I don't see how this would not be Harstem's game.
I mean, when you consider that it's his year, this better be his game.
Is it his year though? I feel like it's been his year since 2013.
Maybe he lives on another planet that has a longer year.
Light years. This is Harstem's light year.
Now, I mean, you know light years aren't actually measurements of time, right?
I sort of know that.
It's the amount of distance you can go in a year if you were traveling at the speed of light.
Wow, Nate.
It's a measure of distance.
You sound so smart.
But I do believe that if Harstem was on a planet further away from the sun than Earth, he could theoretically still be in the same year that he was on 2013 Earth years.
This is going really deep. I'm actually not following this conversation at all.
I'm sorry.
I'm not very wise.
I'm really distracted. I'm a little out of it.
I'm not very wise when it comes to space terms. I do think it's fascinating though, I just don't know a whole lot about it. Anyways, Czech's gonna try to counterattack with a bunch of roaches over here on the right side, but this army, this is the roach meat grinder. I believe in a thing called roach as much as the next guy.
I want to watch it get crunched up, put them in a blender. Yeah! Steam that up. Those roaches are stuck. You're going nowhere. And he's gonna kill all of them. That's really nice.
Literally there's nothing over there.
There are Hydras coming out now, but is it too late? Is it all ogre?
I mean, there are so many blink stalkers as well.
He never got the pylon, by the way. The creep blocked it, so he doesn't have it. Oh, he can't warp in. He's running units from very far away.
I mean, the Hydra count is actually relatively high, so Harstem has to be a tiny bit careful, but if he force fields properly over here, I think he should be fine. Pull a couple of those units to the back, indeed, start microing with those blink stalkers and ride that upgrade advantage, ride that supply advantage that you've built up for yourself, and just press F as many times as you can, and eventually, Nate, you're gonna drop really good force fields.
Yeah, yeah!
That's how I do it.
He's killed everything.
I'm a real Protoss.
Well, you're absolutely filthy, Kev, because this is one of the dirtiest builds I've seen today. Actually, I think the 2 gate he did was a bit dirtier. GG, Harstem takes game number 1.
Awesome, awesome. I was very worried with that opening. A 4-gate opening, I like it a lot against gasless openings because I really think it allows you to, you know, start kiting slow Zerglings or just make it so hard for a Zerg player to get a good engagement on your Zealots. But against speed, I was like, I'm kind of worried about this. Of course, a speed opening with 3 hatcheries does slow the Zerg economy down quite a bit as well, because, you know, you lose a lot of drones that are
You lose the mining time that you could have out of minerals, the drone that becomes the extractor, the resources. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you do kind of need speed to hold that push off, though.
No, you can do it with slow links and queens.
That 4-gate?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not that tired, Kev.
No, I'm not lying, mate. Have you ever seen Sun versus Life? Life always defends it.
Life is the exception to every rule in StarCraft, though.
No, they're actually, like, you can get gas later as well and then still defend it with slow links and then go into roaches immediately. It's all about
If you get roaches out fast enough, then yeah. But you need a creep tumor then, too.
Yeah, 1 creep tumor is very important.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of queens if you don't spend the money on
yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now.
Either way, the way that Harstem did it, it's kind of funky. I haven't seen it like this a whole lot. Just like opening up with 4 gateways against speed like that, and then just like putting it in an impossible position for Zerglings to engage. Because if that pylon would have been in a wide open area, there were plenty of moments where the Speedlings would have been able to just jump on it, trade out with the Sentry, with the Zealot, and then eventually get the pylon and just be like, hey, get the hell from my side of the map. You know, this phase is over, and now you're stuck on 4 gateways, you have no tech at home, and it's really bad for the Protoss. But Harstem really utilizing, you know, the map terrain and the minerals and stuff to his advantage, putting his units in impossible positions for Zerglings to engage, and like that, slowing down the economy. He still needed something little extra, and that's when he decided to just run into the main, and that was obviously a great move.
Yeah, not bad at all, but totally crazy, and if he had messed that up, he would have instantly lost the game. But now we get to play on the map that you said you wanted to see, actually, for PvZ today. Vonnie Research Station.
Yep, I like this map. Over here, the 6 o'clock, or the south side of this map. It's 6 and south, I guess, at the same time. What do you prefer, if it's 2-play map and they're just like...
He's on the south side.
You prefer south side over 6 o'clock?
He's in the bottom position. I'd say the bottom position.
The bottom?
He's on the bottom position. Harstem's on top, you know.
Tonight you're on the bottom, and I'm on the top. But that's not really how this song goes. It's the Usher song, you know? Trading places. We're gonna do things a little different tonight.
I don't know that one.
You don't know it? It's a good one. Over here at 6 o'clock position of this map, it is Wee Spider. Check. Check. Has a lot of work cut out for him. He's gonna have to win 4 out of the next 5 games he will play against Protoss if he wants to advance to the quarterfinals. Obviously he has to win the next 2. Otherwise, it will be all ogre for him. He's going to have to start defeating this red Protoss player spawning at the 12 o'clock position of the map. It is Harstem. A little bit of history for the people who perhaps don't know. Harstem used to be a Warcraft 3 player once upon a time. He was very young and he was also very small. So people called him Little Kevin because I was Big Kevin. And now he's even taller than me. That's crazy how that goes, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, you Dutch people, you don't stop growing, so I'm not surprised by that.
People wonder Harstem was an undead player in Warcraft 3. That is probably why you've never heard of him, because that was not very good. Nah, Kev was very young.
Was the game's like pro scene really that determined by how underpowered you should
No, it wasn't all that bad, but it was hard to make it as an undead player. Saying it wasn't hard would be a lie. But for instance, Happy was an undead player and he became European champion in a phase where Undead wasn't winning anything, so it was doable.
Okay, that's cool.
But you know, Harstem was just he was very young. You know, he was just entering the esports scene. He just thought it was exciting as a young kid. You know, playing against people like Grubby and like me. That sounded really arrogant, but I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, he had a great time, and then when StarCraft II came out, he just went all out right at the get-go. It took a little while before Harstem became good, but I would say over the last, you know, 18 months or even 26 months, he has definitely been, here it comes, Roddy Soundboard, a force to be reckoned with in the European scene, and especially when it comes to Protoss players. A lot of people actually consider him as the strongest Protoss player in Europe right now. Of course, you know, with Naniwa coming back, people will definitely throw up the name Naniwa, and Liubo, also known as Liutot, is also very strong. And Pedrogo has been making a good name for himself, but, you know, Harstem is up there, Nate. Showtime very good as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, you can't really discount any. You can't discount too many players from the European scene, especially when it comes to their Protoss lineup.
No, but like the Protoss lineup really shifted though, because in the older days it was always, you know, you had Grubby, Hazuobs, Zoka, Todd even.
Well, I mean, Hazuobs is still playing. And, you know,
no, he's playing Heroes of the Storm.
He's totally done with StarCraft? Did I miss that announcement?
Not totally done, but
I know he's been playing Heroes, but as far as I know, he's still going to win, you know, a couple more EPSs before he's done with SC2.
No, he's playing. He's waiting for Legacy of the Void. I mean, he might come back soon. Anyways, we should talk about this game, but you know, definitely there is like a new phase of European Protosses. All the guys I just mentioned, you know, the Leobos, the Pedrogos, the Harstems.
So how do you feel about this game? I love Nexus first in the Gateway, especially on this map because there's nothing the Zerg can do about it.
I do love it. I mean, yeah, there are certain crazy early pool openings that may be able to do something about it, but this is pretty much indeed as good as it gets for a Protoss. But, you know, Jack also had a very economic approach to this game. He opened up with 3 hatcheries before his spawning pool, then he dropped the gas. His speed is still pretty quick though. He wanted to make sure that he wouldn't be surprised by anything. But I do like it for Harstem. I would be lying if I said I didn't like it, you know. He went for the most economic opening in the book for Protoss, and he had absolutely nothing to worry about.
With how fast this Robo facility is, you think we're just going to see him Mortal Century Reno, or perhaps?
It's possible, but I'm not sure if this is a great map for it. This map is surprisingly large. You know, if you look at it, you're like, to play a map, I can run across the map with my Immortals and Sentries, but it's pretty hard to get away with it. It takes quite a while before your army reaches the other side of the map, so I kind of feel that Harstem just wants to go up to 3 bases as well. But maybe you're right, Nate. We'll see. He didn't take his 3rd and 4th gas yet, so he might be onto something. Might.
It's a little weird. Why wouldn't he need a 3rd and 4th gas if he was doing an Immortal Sentry push?
Well, sometimes you want to get extra minerals for your gateways.
To build your gates, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's pretty expensive and stuff.
Alright, I can dig it. You only need you actually only need the 2 gases to build 1 Sentry a minute and 1 Immortal a minute, right? So.
Yeah, and then eventually, while you're moving out, you can get the other gases. I still don't think that he wants to put all of his eggs in one basket, and that is going for. Nah, you see, he's taking gas number 3 and 4. It's possible, but I'd be still a little bit surprised if he goes for a big Immortal Sentry all in. With the way, that's maybe not fair to say either. I won't say with the way that the previous game played out, I don't feel like he has to do that, but of course the previous game was a little wonky.
Now he's going up to like 6 gates now.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. I mean, if you open up with a Nexus first, of course you have a very strong economy, and this is pretty much, you know, the strongest that an Immortal Sentry is going to hit, while still, where am I trying to go with this? It is going to hit as hard as it possibly can, while still relatively early in the game, and you know, he had a strong economic opening. And one thing that does work for him, sorry guys, I really make no sense right now, it's kind of late over here in Southern California, but do you understand what I'm trying to say, Nate?
I'm picking up what you're putting down, kid.
Yeah, it's kind of weird what I'm trying to say.
He still gets to hit early despite doing a Nexus first.
Yes, that's sort of what I
mean, he's pushing with 3 Immortals, and he's got the War Prism coming in.
Yeah, it's still very strong. Like, it's not only early, it's also very strong. The one thing that actually helped him out is the fact that Czech opened up with speed, because it slowed his own economy down. So here we go. It's all or nothing. This is pretty much a dream. There's often no transition from this. Either it's absolutely going to work or it's not. I haven't seen a single Immortal Sentry all-in yet on this map, Nate. This is the very first time I see it. Oh, he had a Python. Oh.
Yeah, this could be interesting.
So he doesn't have to wait for the War Prism. This is kind of nice. He's going to force a couple of defensive warp ins. You're going to need these links at home as well. I think every single link helps in general.
I mean, think about it this way. It only takes 1 force field to cut the 3rd off from the main base, right? So if you get that close.
That is definitely true, and that's something I've abused a couple of times myself. But he's going via the left side all the way.
Well, it's just roaches. I mean, the 3 Immortals, there's so much firepower here, and he's picking off already 1, 2. Chewing away, slowly, slowly.
Yeah, the army supply is definitely not overwhelming yet for Czech. It's 64 army supply against 54. That's normally not enough for a Zerg player. Against 3 Immortals and all these sentries, and a couple of them with quite a bit of energy.
It's tricky. If he gets Time Warp... Oh, well, actually, these roaches are just quite exposed. He's not ready to commit one way or the other.
The longer he waits, the scarier this is going to get. Oh, he gets 2 roaches and a queen there, and that queen has a lot of energy.
2 transfuses available in that queen.
Ooh, couple of push for the
Nice.
I mean, I guess if he just gets his hatch and then he backs off, then it's not too bad either. Now there are Zerg units coming from all angles, so...
Even the drones are being pulled at this point. Guardian Shield gets popped, roaches in from the left, from the right, the drones in the bottom. Now he does have the War Prism here. None of the Immortals have actually taken any hit point damage yet, and the War Prism is there, picking him up. Ferrying him over, keeping him safe in the darkness of the night. Taipei, he's slamming, he's jamming Roddy. That third base looks like it's going to go down.
Yep, I think it is going to go down. Easy pick up there on that queen. Time Warp is going to go down as well. That one doesn't really matter though. What matters is that I think Harstem is just going to win this game. He's going to win this series without feeling that it ever truly started. Just a convincing Immortal Sentry all-in over here on Vani Research Station. The very first time I've seen it on this map. Of course, a brand new map that we haven't seen a whole lot of professional games of StarCraft II on yet. Solid execution. Czech's supply was just not high enough, man. He wasted quite a few resources here and there. The counterattack with the Zerglings didn't achieve anything other than a single defensive sentry warp in. This pylon already being up before the War Prism even arrived at the army allowed Harstem to attack even quicker than he normally would already. He's going to run up this round. This is kind of an ugly move command, but it doesn't really matter. He saves the Immortal as well.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah, but this game is over anyways, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. A little finesse, little fancy footwork as you're dancing your way to victory.
Harstem can dance all day. He's defending against the counterattack over here from Czech as well. 6 or 7 roaches are not going to achieve a whole lot, especially not when you have to worry about 3 Immortals that are in your main base. A couple of them have taken a lot of damage though, but there's just almost no units here for Czech. This is going to be it.
He's totally wrecked him. GG. Harstem takes a 2-0 over Czech. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
He moves on to face the loser of the winners match.
That's actually very impressive, as Czech has qualified for this event while going through the open bracket of the Intel Extreme Masters Taipei. And the open bracket, those are not easy. It was dual tournament number 2, I believe. He had to defeat a couple of very strong opponents to get where he is. And Harstem just took him out 2-0. I hate to use this term, but it almost felt like without breaking a sweat.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you're watching the games. Maybe it's just because it's late over here, but it's kind of just you're watching the games and it just kind of happened. You know, game number 1, that 4 gets started up. All right, where are you going to take this? Well, walks in the main, force field him out, and then you know that this is going to be a hard game.
And even that just seems so derpy. You're like, I can just walk into his base and force field him out.
I recently had a game like that, and it's so funny when it happens. The new maps have a couple of moments like that. I mean, you go through the rocks and then you just force field someone out. But yeah, and then game number 2, just Immortal Sentry all in. Really absolutely nothing happened in the first 9 minutes of the game. Then Czech not seeing this pylon going up at the 9 o'clock position of the map. I think that really hurt him, because that allowed Harstem to attack even quicker than he did before. And the very first time when Czech actually tried to disrupt this Immortal Sentry, or you know, like force field, whatever, was when the fighting was already happening at his hatchery. And that's just too late in general, man. That's too late. When you try to defend against Immortal Sentry all in, you want to try to force out some force fields in the middle of the map. You want to try to deny pylons from going up. If you counterattack, it better be, you know, a real counterattack and not 9 Zerglings that 1 Sentry can deal with. Just little underwhelming defense there by the way he spied a Czech, but have to give credit where credit is due. Awesome series for Harstem.
Yeah, very nice. He's going to go up against the loser between Rain and Classic.
Yep, that series should
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for sure, but it's PvP, and I definitely think he learned a lot from that first series, because there were multiple moments where he could have won. Now, you can look at that 2 ways. Is that demotivating or motivating? It's demotivating in a way that he's like, man, I kind of threw that series. It's motivating in a way. It's like, if I was in a position once, maybe I can get myself in that position again, and then actually just go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be rooting for him the whole way through. It's tough for him, because you look at how actually Harstem got into the tournament. He had to replace a player that couldn't make it. So being able to take that match definitely shows, like, yeah, belong here. But Rain is still Rain.
Rain is
Actually,
still
either Rain or Classic are kind of like horrific matchups for anyone to have to go in.
I really think, yeah, I mean, we shall see. I have no idea what's happening in that series. It may be over already because it's PvP, but I doubt it because this PvZ series was very close. Anyways, that's going to be it for us. This is going to be it.
Yeah.
The final series will, of course, be streamed on the main stream, that is twitch.tv/ESLTV_SC2, so the exact same URL as the channel you're currently watching, but then minus the B in the top. I guess we're just going to close this one out, Nate.
Yeah, that's going to be it from us here. You want to thank our sponsors one last time, Kev?
Let's do it. Thank you very much to Intel, Gigabyte, Kingston HyperX, but it's just HyperX.
It's just HyperX, Kevin.
Shout out to HyperX. Yeah. Shout out to Kingston too, because without HyperX, or without Kingston, I don't think
without Kingston, there wouldn't be the meme of it's just HyperX.
That's true. And of course, big shout out to Rocket and Gigabyte as well for making the Intel Extreme Masters possible and giving us all this StarCraft II action. And last but not least, the beautiful monitors of BenQ. This was like, we made this way too complicated. It's very simple. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow as well, where we'll be covering some matches of Group C and D that won't be streamed on the main stream. It's very fun for us. For now, I'd say just hop over to the mainstream. Make sure you're going to watch Rain versus Classic. If it's not over yet, I highly doubt it's over. And after that, it's going to be the last series of the day. Either Rain or Classic will go up against Harstem. Nate, it was a pleasure as always.
Pleasure is mine.
You look a little tired, Nate.
I'm so tired.
Alright guys, that's going to be it. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you guys tomorrow.